Now then, you're welcome back. Always good to say Jack Byrne is with us of Shamrock Rovers and the Republic of Ireland. Jack, how you doing? How's things?
How are you doing? You okay?
Yeah, very well. I was just thinking, I was checking with the lads. The last time I spoke to you, you were in studio. Myself and Damien Delaney were here. That was October last year. It's been some year.
It has, yeah. It's been some year. Probably a year I never expected. And look, I remember coming in to the studio after the Ireland game, and obviously was buzzing at the time, and still look back now, great memories.
So one of the reasons we're talking to you is that you've linked up with Coca-Cola HBC. They've launched a special youth empowered programme, and this is designed to support young people disproportionately affected by COVID-19. One of the things it does, it provides 18 to 30-year-olds with free and unlimited access to a range of online resources, includes insights from guest speakers like yourself. And for more information, people can check out coca-cola-hellenic.com or #youth-empowered. So what kind of things are you talking about?
Yeah, it's really good. It's just, focusing on, obviously the Youth Empowered programme, and, giving young kids an opportunity to if they are struggling, and it's a good programme that they can go online and they can go and check it out, and hopefully it helps a lot of people.
Do you give examples from your own career?
Yeah, I do. I speak about, times when I haven't always been doing so well, and, the resilience you need to, play a professional sport. Talk about, going away from home at a young age, and, how I dealt with that. And look, hopefully if we can reach, even one or two people, and it can help them, then it's definitely worthwhile.
What was the low point, or what was the toughest part in your career thus far, Jack?
It was probably, making the decision to come home, and having to deal with people saying, he's throwing it away, and he's not good enough to play in England. He doesn't have the mentality, and people are always looking for a stick to hit you with, and it was really difficult around that time. But I had to show a lot of character to really bounce back from that situation, because there were certain times when it did get on top of me, and I felt like, do I even want to play this game? But when I got home, and I surrounded myself with good people, good family, it gave me a chance to really kick on again and focus on what was important.
Did you feel when you came home to Dublin that you were chucking in the towel a bit, or you were throwing it away, or you were giving up a touch? Like, did you lack motivation at that stage? Were you ready to kind of ditch the towel and look, we'll see what happens with Rovers, but I'm not sure my heart's in this anymore? That's where you were.
Do you know what? I was and I wasn't. I was in a place where, I knew over there, if I was bouncing around from club to club and in League One and trying to nick a move for 16 months or 2-year deals, it wasn't going to work out for me at the time. So, I needed to come home. And when I spoke to the manager here, I never really got that feeling that I was throwing the towel in. I seen it as if, somebody who believed in me, and someone who really wanted to, give me a chance to show people in this country, how good a footballer I was. And, he obviously gave me the platform to go on and make me international career. It was only, a month and a half into the season when I got my first international call-up by Mix. So, things can change quickly. And I think if you stick through these things and you battle through them, you can see, not only in life and football, things change. Things can change so quickly. So quickly,
yeah, for sure. Milan 2, Shamrock Rovers 0. I guess that's, it's nice to have played against Milan, to say the least. How do you, by all accounts, I didn't get to see the game. I was listening to radio commentary at one point. By all accounts, you played very well. Were you happy with your own performance?
Yeah, I think that as a team, we were happy, competing with one of the best sides in European football over the years, and to go up against them, probably a bit gutting that we couldn't go a second leg over in the San Siro. But look, obviously, nobody would have, seen what's happened in the world over the last couple of months. So look, we take that one on the chin. But my own performance, yeah, I was happy. I thought I done okay, and for the times when we had the ball, I thought as a team we moved it well, and we never changed. We never went away from what we're good at, and I don't think as a team we can change. I think we have to play that way. So, it's important for us, no matter whether we're playing against, Waterford on Monday night or Milan on Thursday, that, we stick to what we're good at and the way the manager has set us up.
I heard a few of your teammates in defence talking about Zlatan, and they could just sense the quality, be it his movement or his touch or his strength. I mean, I would imagine even when you're seeing him in person, he's even bigger than you might expect. He looks like a specimen. Did anything strike you about his play being on the same pitch as him?
Yeah, I just thought, you know, for a 38-year-old, his movement was unbelievable. I think he still had, you know, so much legs, and he was getting around the pitch, and he was dictating the game at one point from the middle of the park. He was just dropping in, and you know, he's obviously unbelievable footballer. He's played for the best clubs in the world, and he still feels as if he has a lot to offer, and I'm sure he does. By judging by his performance from playing against him the other night, I think he could go for another couple of years. But the fella is obviously looks after himself so well. He was doing crate kicks over the height of my head during the warm up, so. He's obviously fit and ready to rock into the new season. And look, he's obviously started well anyway with a goal against us, even though I'm not happy about it.
What's he doing in his movement?
For such a big man, he was like a ghost on the pitch. You couldn't pick him up. His movement for his goal was fantastic. I thought he just ghosted in the back of Pico at one stage, and but look, saying that, I thought Pico had a great game, you know, but. That's just what top players do. You keep them quiet for the whole game, and you know they pop up in one moment. But I just thought throughout the game, I thought he was brilliant the way he was just dictating the game, and you know, not even by he never once ran himself out of the game. He always looked fresh, even when they didn't have the ball. He never looked like he was blown.
Do you suspect that kind of movement is learned and taught, or is there something innate in the way he sees the game?
I think from such a young age he was so good. So I think it's a natural gift that he has, that you know he can move so well for a big man, and his touch is so good. And you know, but then obviously going through top clubs, it's not enough, and you have to add other little parts to your games and what other managers want you to do. And he's obviously done that over the years. You know, I think his records speak for itself, and the clubs he's played for. But I think he's probably got better as he's gone along with, you know, experience.
Was he mouthy on the pitch? Was he loud?
I think he was giving a few of the lads a little bit, but you don't mind that, you know. I mean, it made it competitive. It made it, you know, they weren't taking us lightly. They were, you know, they were right up for the game. They pressed us. They played the game properly. And we played the game properly. We couldn't have a minute off, because they have quality to go and hit you for 6 or 7 if you do. So. But we probably played at our best, although we're disappointed with the goals we conceded. You know, us playing at our best and them being bang at it, they beat us 2-0, and obviously we're disappointed about it. But like it's not the worst result in the world, and not the worst performance, and we took a lot of pride out of it. But you know, if you take 1 minute off against them, you know they were bang at it on the night, and we had to work really hard for the 2-0 defeat, really.
Sure, look, you're mouthy on the pitch as well. I mean, half the time I'd be worried about you on the pitch if you were quiet. I think you need it to be in the game and in a certain state.
Yeah, I think so. Like I think I'm probably better when I play when I'm angry. Look, I think I need to do certain things sometimes to get myself up for games. I can't just go out on the pitch and prance about, because if I don't play at a tempo, I may as well not be on the pitch. You may as well be carrying me. So I need to do something to get me up for the game, whether that's moaning at myself half of the time, or saying something to somebody to kind of, you know, light me fire. I think that's what I need to do, because I seem to get the best out of myself when I have something to play for.
Generally, so Zlatan aside, and you know, you use that phrase, if you switch off for a moment, they'll punish you. Just in general play, what are the biggest areas where there's a gap? You know, if we're talking about Irish football and clubs like Shamrock Rovers hoping or aspiring to play at some kind of European level regularly and successfully, is it physicality? Is it touch? Is it game awareness? You know, you're probably going to tell me it's a bit of everything, but if there was something that jumped out, having played against them recently.
It's hard to say, like, you know, because there's a gap everywhere. There's a gap between most teams. You know, Man City will go away and play Napoli, and they'll beat them 2 or 3-0, and you'll say there's a gap between them. What do they need to do to bridge that gap? So it's a difficult one to say. Like, you see the gap between the top half of the Premier League half of the time and the bottom half of the Premier League is so big. But I just think for our league in general, I think the more young players we have coming in, hungry young players, the more high quality games we have, the more times the better teams play against each other, I think will benefit the league. Whether it will definitely benefit the top teams going for Europe. I thought the idea of Bowes, Derry, Shamrock Rovers and Dundalk playing in the Aviva was a great idea to get teams ready, because it was high tempo, high quality football. The way the European games would have been played, with that kind of feel around it. I think the more games you have like that will only benefit the league going forward. I think, I think up in Scotland the way they kind of cut the league, after Christmas, I think it is, and the top teams seem to play each other more often than not. I think that would, maybe benefit us here.
It's interesting you were able, while still playing in the game, to appreciate what Zlatan was doing. I was reading recently Wayne Rooney's column in the Sunday Times. It's always really good, and he was talking about growing up, and he used to watch VHS tapes of Jari Litmanen to learn the role, and he modelled himself and his movement on the things he saw Litmanen doing. Do you go in for any of that? Is there anybody that you did or do model yourself on at times?
Well, I've always grown up like Paul Scholes. Always, loved watching him play. I don't model myself on him because I've moved higher up the pitch now. I play in the number 10 position, but when I first went over to England, I used to play in front of the back four, and that first year in Holland I would have played, a lot of time in midfield, building from the back and through the towards. So I always enjoyed watching Paul Scholes' performances. I just thought he was unbelievable. He never gave a pass away, and it was never the safety option as well with him. He was always trying. He was always trying to find the killer pass. And I just thought, even towards, I remember going to watch a game. I think there's always a piece going around about when Scholes played this game against Man City, when his fourth game after retirement, when he had the fake boots on, and he went to Sports Direct or something and got a pair of fake boots and went down to play the game. And I don't think he gave the ball away. He was unbelievable. I was in the Etihad watching the game. And I remember coming away in the game thinking, this fella is a different level. Don't think he made a tackle. Don't think he made a header. He was just everywhere. He was just there in front of everyone. So that's probably my favourite player watching when I was growing up was Paul Scholes, and still to this day, you get him up on the old YouTube. But it's in black and white.
Yeah, we're all getting old. Did you ever get along to Old Trafford when you were in Manchester to watch him, or would that be dangerous territory to sneak along?
Do you know, I used to try and get some of the Champions League games if they were playing. Like, sometimes you get to see them. Some of my family would be United fans, and they'd go over and watch the games, and you just tag along with them for something to do. And I actually went and I used to go and watch a lot of the reserve team games in Old Trafford. Watch Derek Williams and Robbie Brady play against each other. One time I was there with Graham, and I think there was a few of them playing on the pitch that day. Samir Carruthers, Graham Burke, Derek Williams, Robbie Brady. I think Grealish might have played. So there was some good players, and players that we've been playing with throughout the age groups. And when they're playing on your doorstep, you'll always go and see how they're getting on, and offer a bit of support if you can, because it's probably only a few of us over there.
There must have been some unbelievable players you saw, say, even just take the two Manchester clubs, who didn't make it, like high-profile, brilliant youth players who never kicked on. I don't know, did any jump to mind, or were any in your age group?
Do you know what? It's difficult to say, because there's been so many. I've come across so many in my time, and even ones when you're looking at lads when they're 12, 13, 14, and you just don't know how to, like, at the time you're thinking these lads are going to be the next big thing, and then 2 or 3 years later you don't see them in the academy anymore. You're thinking, where are these boys gone? So it's difficult, but you always have the Phil Fodens and the Brahim Diaz's who used to play up with us, and we'd be watching them. Their clips used to be going around the academy when we were younger, and you'd see some of the stuff they were doing, and you'd be thinking, these boys are different gravy, and they're the ones that have obviously kicked on and done really well. But saying most of the lads out of my Man City youth team would have had careers out of the game, I don't think any of them aren't playing. I think most of them are still, they found their level and probably could play higher, but probably got bogged down into, coming from an academy team that are winning, 4 or 5-0 every week, and, passing the ball and doing really well under Vieira, to go on and playing for Walsall in League One. And it's a battle in your hands, and it's completely different. So, some people fall out of the game, or just slide down the ladder that don't deserve to be there. And if you go and you watch a game in League One or League Two, no surprise that there's always one or two players that you think, my God, he shouldn't be playing there, and it's just that bit of luck that you need with a manager. You see, plenty of teams. Luton, I think, back-to-back promotions. Sheffield United, back-to-back promotions to the Premier League. So some of these boys playing in League One soon start to mix it in the Premier League. So it's just one of those things. But most of the lads that we've played with are still in the game and still doing really well.
Ravel Morrison wasn't around your vintage, was he?
He was. I would have played against him. I played against him when I was younger in the reserves, but we would have been in the same youth team as Paul Pogba and all these boys. And I've heard stories about him saying that he was obviously the one that probably got away. But to be honest, when we played against him, Ryan Tunnicliffe was probably a better player, and he's playing for Luton now. So
right,
and I played with Ryan that weekend, and he's a good player, but. There's always, everyone will have their own opinion. He can do unbelievable stuff with the ball, Ravel, when you watch him. But, I think in a 90-minute game, for me, I didn't think he was, going to be better than the Pogbas that were playing beside him.
And was Pogba just clearly class and just going to make it? Yeah,
he was. He was quality. We used to play them in the Manchester Senior Cup, and I think it would have been only 15 going up watching the reserves. Ian Lawler would have been playing against him, and he was a proper player. He had everything. And there's no surprise that Juventus took him. I think a year or two later and stuck him straight in their first team when they knew he wasn't going to play for Man United. You have to be some player to go over there and play straight away. So he was kind of like Olivier Encham, who was at Man City with me, who's now at Celtic. He was bigger and stronger, a lot more physically developed than me at the time, who wasn't probably going to peak and ever have a chance to play first team football until I was 19 or 20. These boys could have played from the time they were 15 or 16.
That academy style of football, how does that compare to when you get to senior football and the pressure? Because sometimes it's accused of being, just almost a bit too perfect in the centre half split, and there's nothing on the line in terms of people's livelihoods if we get relegated, and just that cut and thrust. How does academy football and lads who shine in that environment compare to what you might have experienced at senior level?
I don't agree with it completely when people say that, because there's still lads that you're playing academy football. You're still fighting for your jersey. You're still fighting to get into a Man City's first team, or you're still fighting to get another contract. If you're not at it every week, or you're not playing well, and you're not going to move up the ranks, you're not going to get into your first team at the end of the day. You're not going to earn a living. So now a lot of these boys that would leave, school and go to academy graduates and not have great educations, and you haven't got a lot to fall back on. So for me, when I was playing academy football, I was thinking, I'm going to get in the first team. I want to be better than the person who would have signed from Real Madrid for 5 million who was playing beside me. Do you know what I mean? I was thinking, this is, I need to be at it every week, otherwise I won't get a game for Man City's under 18s. How am I going to go and play anywhere else? So I don't agree with it 100%, but I do understand when people are coming from kids might get, too much too soon, and they might get, a false, sense of security, and I can understand that, and I do feel sorry for some of the kids that happens to, because I've seen it a lot. Kids get a lot of money and they might not have great family around them, and might not be spent wisely, and then in a couple of years you see them and they're not playing football anymore. You're thinking, what's going on there? And I hope the kid has good people around them, because it's you need that when you get the 19, 20 years of age and there's another 16-year-old coming through, and you're not going to break into the first team. They soon give that 16-year-old a chance ahead of you. Yeah,
there's just so much talent out there. Was anybody in the City first team good to you or encouraging to you, or took time out to help you along?
There was a lot. Like, we used to have, say, Carlos Tevez when he was frozen out of the first team. He used to train with us, for that whole 6 or 7 months when he had that argument with Mancini, and even not speaking English and stuff, just training with them players every day, learning from them. When I was only 15, and this Carlos Tevez, one of the best players, one of the best strikers in the world. Obviously, he was frozen out at the time. But obviously, there's a lot of people that are good to you, and they help you out. Gareth Barry, when I first went over, he came down, met the whole family, spent a good few hours with us around the training ground. When you're going up training with them, all the lads are always sound. I remember when I was training with the squad for the first one of the first Champions League squads that was kind of in and around with the U Champions League, and you go up and train with the first then, and Willie Caballero would have been brilliant to us. He would have been so good, one of the best, and could not speak a lot of English, so it's not really the English speaking lads or anything like that. It was just there was always people looking out for you, and I think they always just, once you had respect and once you tried hard and worked hard, I think most of them you just get along with them.
Jeez, I gotta say, I sort of forget some of the quality that you've been around. 15 years old training with Carlos Tevez is nuts.
Yeah, no, it was. Yeah, we had some good players in that bomb squad, I'll call it. I think Owen Hargreaves was there, and Boyata, and there was some good players, to be fair.
Yeah, Hargreaves at that point, I presume his knees were just, it was dreadful what happened to him. I mean, he was such a brilliant player.
If he couldn't get near the first line, how could any of us?
I guess you're probably a bit disappointed looking on the Bulgaria and the Finland games. I understand reading that Stephen Kenny had a chat with you. What was the gist of the message?
Just he didn't want to play a number 10 in the games, and just said it wasn't out of his plans. This was just the squad he was going to go with for the games, and look, I respect that, and that's not a problem. I know that it's a hard job for anyone to pick a squad of 23 players. This time 18 months ago, if you had told me, I would have been near the squad. I would have laughed at you. I would have bit your hand off. So to be getting a phone call off Stephen, and probably come away from the phone call a bit disappointed that you're not in the squad. For me, it wasn't a disappointment. It was a I know I can do better, and I know I can try and do better, and I can try and improve, and I think I can only take positives out of it because I've gone on and I've done well now since the squad was announced, and since I probably did need a little bit of a kick up my own backside really, and knuckle down again. Not to say I wasn't trying, but I just probably wasn't playing as well as I could have been playing, and we think of I've got a few games under my legs now. I didn't have a great pre-season. I didn't play a game in pre-season, so
right.
And we've got the games into my legs now, and I just hopefully whether I'm in the squad or not in the squad, the next one, hopefully the lads can go and do well, because I was obviously involved last year, and I would like to see, obviously as a fan as well, I'd like to see Ireland qualify no matter whether I'm in it or not. So obviously disappointing looking on when they played against Bulgaria that I wasn't involved, because obviously thought I'd done well against them the last time I played, and probably thought I could have affected it, but it's not really a big issue for me. I just need to concentrate on what I'm doing.
Yeah, no, I'd say Bulgaria in particular, because I mean you were brilliant that night. You changed the game, and I kind of thought, well, this guy's going to be a fixture in the squad going forward almost automatically. And are you in your own head, you're just definitely a number 10? If the team shape was such that, well, actually, could you play sitting role or play a bit deeper, given that you've done it before over in Holland, I think in particular? Is that something you kind of close the door on, or do you feel I just want to be a number 10? I'm definitely a 10.
I think I could play, all across the midfield. I've probably played, a full season in League One playing right midfield when I was playing an Oldham team that, we didn't play great football, but it got me in areas of the pitch up beside Owen Doyle where I could affect it, and we had, two workhorses in the middle of the park. So I just don't know. You just different teams, different styles, different managers' opinions on where they see you playing. And you just take it from there. If you're told to play on the left, you're told to play on the right, or you're told to play in goal, you just go and do it. And that's what your manager wants you to do. And I probably wouldn't have done it years ago. I probably would have laughed at you and said, "Oh no, I only want to play here. I want to play there." But you get old and you get more wiser, and manager tells you to go and play in goal, you go and play in goal. And that's just the way it is.
You sound like you have matured a lot, all right.
Yeah, it's just we've been through a hell of a lot in my career. You know, I've played loads of clubs and got myself in situations that would I get myself in them situations now looking back? You know, certainly not. And will I get myself in them situations going forward? No, I won't. So look, hindsight is a great thing, and you know you can only learn these things when you go through them. And you know, the stuff I went through at 18, I don't think you know any kid would have went through from the time they were, you know, 11 to 18. And you know, I think I've definitely learned from it, and you know, we'll come out stronger, no doubt.
Final point, it'd be remiss of me not to mention things are going very well, obviously, with Rovers. 8 points clear, 6 games to go. So I would think that's very much the focus now. Win a league title and you know, finally get that done. That's where the head's at very much at the moment.
Yeah, definitely. I think, you know, it's an old cliche, just take it one game at a time. But, you know, I think that's what we have to do. But, you know, we would be lying if we said, you know, we don't know that we're 8 points clear at the top of the table and there's only 6 games left to go. And we obviously aware of our position and, you know, how hard we've worked to get in this position. And it's up to us now not to let anybody take it from us and nail it home. And, you know, it'd be a good end to the season, and, you know, hopefully we can do it.
Well, listen, keep it going. Hopefully we see you in a green jersey again very soon. Jack Byrne, with thanks to Coca-Cola and their youth impaired programme, it's Coca-Cola Hellenic, HELLENIC.com, or hashtag youth empowered is where you can check out more info and maybe check out Jack's contribution as well. Listen, pleasure, sir. Take care. We'll talk to you soon. Cheers.
Thank you. Thanks very much.